I love your apple. You could have drawn the outer path a little bit cleaner, a little bit more rounded, okay, and not so choppy. What I want to do, you do need more practice with your path drawing. And if I could give you a little bit of a clue here, I'm going to turn on your reference and turn off your apple. Now, obviously, this reference, let me go like this. Okay, there's the clean apple. Now watch how I draw. I'm going to click and pull in the same direction as the apple. And I'm going to click and pull in the same direction as the apple is going and continue that process all the way around the apple. So if you do that and you click, hold, and pull, you're going to make a cleaner path and understand how to get a cleaner path and not make it choppy. Okay, so if you click, hold, and pull, the line becomes automatically curved. So I'll do this as I'm continuing to draw because I want to clean up the outer edge of your apple and then use a little layer to add a little bit more red, and I'll show you where that is. But I'm almost around the whole apple, and you can see how I'm just click, hold, and pulling. Okay, I'll go right through the stem because I'm not going to impact any of the stem. Okay, so I'm going to come around, I'm going to hold Alt or Option now and join back in the path, and now there's a clean path. Okay, so what I want to do is make a selection of that path. Now I'm going to hit Control or Command H to hide the selection. Now I'm going to turn off this reference and turn back on your Apple folder. Okay, so let's do the first thing, which is to clean up the outer edge. Okay, now what I want to do though is tell you that this apple was probably shot on a whitish background, so we don't need that much light value around the apple. So I put a layer right there, and I'll put probably a couple more like I just did. But I'm going to click to layer 6, and I'm going to grab this red that you had right here, and I'm going to show you that if I put that layer on a multiply mode, see how it's on a multiply mode? It's going to end up being, and I have to fix that little bit right there, it's going to end up being transparent. I better put it on a normal mode for right now because I want that paint to become opaque on the edge. So what I'm going to do is do this, and then I'm going to add a layer mask to the folder and show you how I'm going to clean up the outer edge. Okay, so I'm going to grab this. You can see what I'm doing all the way around the apple. I'm cleaning up the outer edge, and I don't care about that leftover white. I'll get rid of that on a layer mask. So let me grab that red again. So you can see down here, I'm just adding, and I'm painting on layer 6. So keep your eye on layer 6. Now look at how it's going to help this blending process that we're, see the area between this orange and the red? We just need a little bit more color blending on it. Just like I'm doing right there. I'm using that same red and I'm just blending it a little bit more into the apple. Okay, so let me just come across the front of this like this. Okay, and then down a little bit. And now let's clean up the outer side. So I'm going to grab this color right here. Stay on this layer, it's okay. And I'm going to now just paint until it becomes opaque. And I'm going to go around your apple like this. And now what I'm going to do is inverse. So I'm going to use this path again right here, okay, number 5. I'm going to use it, but I'm deselecting. Okay, now I'm going to add a layer mask to your folder. See that right there? I'm going to add a layer mask. Now I'm going to make a selection of the same thing and inverse it. So I'm going to go to Select Inverse. Now I'm going to hit Command or Control H, and I'm going to paint in black on the layer mask. And you can see how by painting black on the layer mask, see over here, see the layer mask has black on it? I'm now, by inversing it, cleaning up your outer edge of the apple, okay? And now it's a lot cleaner. And now we're going to go back in the folder, remake a selection of number 5 because I want to paint some more dark on it. So I'll use this layer here. Remember I painted on layer 6? Well, I'm going to paint on layer 7. Okay, now I'm going to hit Command or Control H to hide the selection, and we're going to grab a darker red from the apple, like that darker red right there. Make my brush bigger, and let's set the apple down on the ground by using this dark value right here. And I'll even make it now a little darker. So when your apple is on such a dark background as this blue, do you see how by me coming across this, just like I'm doing, do you see how it's cleaning up the outer edge of the apple, and it's also setting it down on that surface? Now we're going to make the shadow be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to deselect, go down to where your shadow is, and it's probably in the background layer, and I'm going to turn it off. Now I'm going to grab an elliptical selection. See this marquee here? It's now going to be an ellipse. So I'm going to simply hold Alt or Option and draw from the center out about the same size as the apple, and I'll lift it up by putting my cursor right on the edge of that selection and just moving it up a little bit. Now I'm going to use a dark blue, so I'm going to hit the B key, grab this gorgeous dark blue right here, see it? It's nice and dark blue, and I'm going to make a layer above, a new one, a layer above your old shadow. And I'm just going to go Option or Alt Backspace. Now that's perfect, right? Well, no, it's not. So let's take the opacity down to about this much right here. Now with no selection active, I deselected it. Let's Gaussian blur it. So let's go to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian blur. And now you can see how that looks gorgeous at about 25 to 30 on the Gaussian blur. Okay, now I'm going to make a selection. I have to zoom in because I want you to see something. There's two boo-boos right there. So I'm going to fix that by making a selection of the apple, hitting the M key. I'm going to hit the M key for marquee, use my cursor key, and I want you to see that moving down. Do you see that moving down like I just did right there? Okay, so I'm going to hit Command or Control H, go back up to the last layer I made, which was layer 8. Now I'm going to use the dark red. So I'm going to come in here like this, make this a super dark red, and I'm going to paint real gentle, but watch how when I paint, I'm going to clean up that edge. Now that's because I shifted the selection down to encompass that boo-boo, and look at how gorgeous that is. Look at how sweet that is to clean up the outer edge, add more dark around the outer edge, and then add the red between your orange and your apple red. So here's the 3 things I did. See how that's the way yours did look? It only took a few minutes to turn it into this, and that's what I want you to do. So try to follow what I did and just clean up your apple. Beautiful job. Thank you.